Welcome everyone to the first day of Inspiration Week IWD 2026 Global Techathon, and I'm sure you are in for a great time this evening. Today's session is going to run for 20-25 minutes, and shortly after, you have the opportunity to ask Charlotte any questions at all that you might have. So Charlotte is an associate director at Unthinkable, where she works with organizations to reimagine technology for positive social impact. She's also the co-founder of Feminist Internet, a global movement driving conversations on power and equality online, and the creator of ULA's MA Internet Equalities Program. Charlotte is recognized as one of the Evening Standard's most influential people in tech. Charlotte champions creativity, fairness, and ethics in the digital world. We're so excited to welcome Charlotte right now. So we're handing the floor over to Charlotte, and from everyone on the call, give her a round of applause. So Charlotte, the floor is over to you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so honored to be part of this. I'm so excited for Inspiration Week, and I'm so excited that so many people have come. So thank you to everybody. And I am also very passionate about this particular topic. And I want to talk to you today about finding your conviction in an AI-driven world. So what do I mean when I talk about conviction? Okay, the way that I think about this is conviction is knowing what really matters to you and then choosing when and how to act on it. So for me, I have a very strong conviction that young people should be involved in the creation of technologies and should be part of the conversation about how those technologies can be more equal. So I'm choosing to come here and be with you all and get into that conversation so that I can hopefully share some of the things I've learned on my journey so that you can then do more to make a big impact on this technology sector that is so needed. So why do having strong convictions matter in tech? Well, I know that you're all here because you already have a sense of how AI is shaping your life. Whether that is the content in your social media feeds, maybe it's even just an autocomplete filling in a search when you go and look up something online. Maybe it's the suggestions you have about what to watch or buy or believe, right? All of these things are subtle ways, or maybe not so subtle ways, right, that AI is shaping our lives. And we also know that right now, and it's been this way for a long time, largely speaking, technology is being built by quite a narrow group of people. And that means that sometimes it doesn't work equally well for everyone. It also means, as we're having conversations about power, that power can be concentrated in a small seat when actually what we really want is for power to be distributed more equally around the world. And I also have a very strong conviction that your generation has the chance to really contribute to changing this. But it can be really helpful if you want to do that to really get a sense of, well, what do I stand for? What matters to me? What is driving me to want to make a difference in this arena? So I would love to know in the chat, please, in one word, how do you feel about AI right now? Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling optimistic? Do you feel confused? Are you skeptical? Just let me know one word. Intrigued. It's the future. Optimistic. Dangerous. Peak fiction. Woo! Optimistic. Future. Bewildered. Yes. Enslaved. Wow. Fascinated, amazing, promising, optimistic, helpful future. So what I'm seeing, and thank you, I love it. I love seeing these words come in. And you see how there's this combination, right, of optimism on the one hand, skepticism on the other hand. Maybe there's some fear, maybe some people are seeing both the good side and the bad side. And that is, I think, already you guys demonstrating a lot of wisdom because it's a mixed picture. There is so much potential for technology to be used for good, but there are also ways that it is being used for harm and can be used for harm. And so I think what I've learned is to hold the positive vision for the potential of technologies to really affect massive positive change. And at the same time, kind of be able to say, okay, there is complexity here. There is a downside, there's like a shadow side of the technology. And can we as a community come together and hold both? So we're not saying it's all one terrible thing. We're not saying it's one amazing thing. We're actually looking at this from a really balanced perspective. So, wow, that's really cool. Thank you. Um, I just saw one using too much resources right now. Again, really interesting, isn't it? Because do we always think about the, environmental impacts of AI? Good for homework. Yes. No comment. It can make people more lazy. Yeah, and again, isn't that one of the most fascinating debates about AI right now? Is AI going to compromise our willingness to get into hard intellectual work, which is actually deeply satisfying, but we don't always want to go there, right? So amazing. So let's move on. I wanted to tell you a little bit about my own story, my own journey of kind of developing my convictions around technology. And it's a story where I went from noticing something to acting on something. So noticing things that would like start to chip away and like build some conviction to actually really building out a whole movement. So back probably about 8, 9 years ago now, I was studying a PhD at the University of the Arts London. It was all about art and the internet. And I got very involved in the London tech scene and I just started to see inequality kind of all around me. I started noticing conversations where people were not being paid equally, not being listened to equally. Women were not having as many opportunities, experiences, products were not being designed with diverse groups in mind. And I just started to get really annoyed about what I was seeing. And it sparked something in me, and I ended up co-founding this group, a collective called Feminist Internet. And Feminist Internet was an absolutely amazing project that lasted about 7 years, where we got to travel the world co-creating technologies from a feminist perspective with young people in different countries who all were bound together by this conviction that technology should be more inclusive, more equal, should promote diversity of thinking, inclusion, equality around the world, right? It was a very powerful movement. And one of our biggest wins was we collaborated with the Webb Foundation to prototype different products that would make social media platforms safer for women. And during this amazing journey with Feminist Internet, where we got to make so many different kinds of technologies using feminist design principles, we found different allies and collaborators from universities, from charities, from industry, all different kind of people getting involved in this movement. And what united all of us was our conviction. And the conviction was that technology should be built on principles of equality. So you can see how when we had this common mission, we were able to build momentum in collaboration with so many different people. Having that mission shared across many different people was also the most powerful thing. When we did face criticism, when we did face backlash, when we were doubting, like, can we even make any impact on big tech companies? we really found strength in each other. And I definitely could not have done any of that stuff on my own. And that's one of the things I really want to share with you today, is that you are here thinking about how to create more equitable technologies to make a difference in the world using AI. And that might not always be really easy to do. Sometimes that might be quite challenging, especially if you're wanting to challenge some of the powerful systems that are in play, right? And so, you know, finding that strength in other people and in your convictions can really, really help you to stay the course, right? When it gets tough. So I wanted to share with you 4 things that I've learned that helped me really stay with my principles that I hope can inspire you as you go on your own journey with tech. I am from the UK, yes. So there's 4 things we're going to go through: spotting the issue, knowing your why, finding your people, and starting small and then scaling. Okay. So this first thing is to do with spotting the issue. So, you know how I was saying that I just started to notice things that were not right around me in this London tech scene. Okay. And so my first sort of method of developing strong convictions is just keeping your eyes open, noticing when things don't feel right, if something feels unfair, if it feels exclusionary. You can be asking yourself, like, okay, is this technology that I'm looking at, or is this technology scene around me working the same way for everyone? Who actually made this thing? Who was in the room when design decisions were being made? Who is this designed to help? Who might it harm? Whose experience might be left out as a consequence of this technology? You know, you can start just getting really curious and start sharpening your ability to see, oh, where do things feel fair? Where do things not feel fair, right? And some real examples. I was thinking about how frustrating it is that in some ways we are still having the same conversation that we were having in 2018. In 2018, when I was right in the middle of feminist internet, we had this example of AI recruiting tools that showed bias against women because those were trained on male CVs predominantly, and so they basically downgraded the ratings of women's CVs. Fast forward to now, and then there's this news story last year about ChatGPT advising women to ask for lower salaries, even when they put in exactly the same credentials as men. And so you can see that, you know, even though the technologies are evolving, some of the biases in society are still being reproduced in those technologies. That's partly to do with the way the technologies are designed and built, partly the way to do with the data they're trained on. But we have to keep our convictions strong around making sure technologies promote equality, because the technologies can change, but the biases in society also have to change. Otherwise, no matter how things evolve at the surface level, we're going to still experience the same problems. So I would love to know in the chat, have any of you noticed something with tech or AI that just doesn't feel like it's been designed with everyone in mind? Do you see anything around you that you don't feel is really fair, or you're just feeling like it's not quite right? Yes. So some issues around accessibility there. A lot of people seeing it. Yeah, of course. Honestly, fake photos. Yes, exactly. So many people, deep fakes. And we need each other, right? Because we're in an environment where what we used to be able to rely on is being destabilized. I mean, it's very unnerving to feel like it's not possible to tell what around you is real. And so I think the more that we can come together and face these issues again as a community, the better. So it's, yeah, exactly. When you ask ChatGPT to create an image on how they would describe me treating them, yes. So a lot of you are seeing things that you're not happy with, that you're not feeling comfortable with, that you would like to be different. And when we come into a space like this, there's 237 people on this call, and we're all noticing these issues. So we're kind of creating a picture here of what is wrong. And that's really, really powerful because you have to spot the problem first, right? And then you can start to go on and do something about it. So thank you, everybody, for your amazing comments. The second thing is what fires you up. What fires you up, knowing your why. What fires you up about making tech more equal? So maybe you get really motivated by wanting things to be fairer. Maybe you feel really strongly that everyone deserves the same shot in life and should be supported around that through tech. Maybe you're like a super creative person and you think it's really important that we have diverse perspectives around the table when we're building tech. Maybe you personally have experienced something being overlooked or not feeling inclusive and you want to do something about that. I know people have been inspired to create whole careers out of their own personal experiences with technology. Maybe you're just really practical. Maybe you love building things. Maybe you want to create things that actually work for everybody. And what I found was, knowing why I'm doing the work I'm doing really helped me again to like keep going, because it's not easy to change big, powerful interests. So I try to remember, what is the point? Why am I doing this? What is the ripple effect if I keep going, right? So know your why. And just as an example from the feminist internet days, we got so fired up about voice assistants not being gender equal because we kept seeing that, there were problems with voice assistants. And there was a big report that came out from UNESCO around the time that we were working, where like if you swore at Siri and called, I don't know if I can say the word, but you could just basically do a swear word, like a gendered swear word at Siri, and Siri would just say, "I'd blush if I could." So there was this very problematic response from the voice assistant. It had not been designed with women or equality in mind. So we were just fired up and we did a whole big project called Designing a Feminist Alexa, where we were like, okay, well, what would a voice assistant that was built with equality in mind actually look like? And it was amazing. And again, we prototyped these different versions of technology, like designing it our way with our convictions at the forefront. Okay, so the third thing is to find your people. I've been talking about it. You are all in this community together right now, but it's so important to know that if you want to make a difference in technology, you do not have to do it alone. I personally find that collaboration makes me a lot braver. I definitely know the people I collaborated with in Feminist Internet and now make me smarter. They definitely help me be more resilient. Hi, everybody that's coming in. And again, when we faced backlash or criticism when we were doing the work we were doing, we always found that the way to get through it was to come together as a community. So, being here with all these amazing other people, coming to clubs like events like this, Teens in AI is such an amazing example of an organization that's creating community and connection. And I just think it's brilliant to be part of it. But it can also be start really small, like start conversations with classmates who care about tech and AI being more fair. And look for mentors who share your values. I'm gonna, you know, always be looking up to people who I think are doing amazing work and who like inspire me to keep going. And I just wanted to share this one slide with some of the people that really like inspired me in the past and continue to inspire me These are amazing people who are absolute warriors in the tech space. Caroline Criado Perez wrote a book called Invisible Women. Absolutely amazing, like exposing data bias in a world that's been designed for men. So cool. Joy Buolamwini, who is the founder of the Algorithmic Justice League. Shay Akiwowo, incredible person, like championing equality in tech. And Cathy O'Neill wrote this book called Weapons of Math Destruction, which really breaks down like how big data increases inequality. And I'm always looking for these people for inspiration and keep going. So I would like totally invite you to do the same. Like, are there people around you that are inspiring you that make you want to do better with tech? Let me know in the chat. My mama, amazing. Yeah, exactly. It can be family, parents, it could be siblings, it could be people really close to you. It doesn't have to be people. And like that is so important as well, isn't it? My mentor, my grandma. I love how many people are like talking about family, parents, teachers, inspired by yourself. That's amazing. Yeah, beautiful. And you see how it's all connected to community as well, right? Elon Musk. Amazing. And NGO trainer. Fantastic. Okay. Oh, this is so good. Older cousin. Teachers. Oh, the founders of Teens in AI. I'm with you. All right. I know we've only got a few moments, so I'll keep going. I'll just say this last piece, right? The fourth way to really strengthen your convictions is to start small and then scale up. When I was working with Feminist Internet, at the beginning, I thought the people I wanted to target the most were like the most extreme misogynists, like the people who had the most extreme views and I just thought they needed to be like educated or something. And it was the wrong approach because it's actually easier and more powerful, I think, to start small and bring yourself closer to people who are more on the same page as you. Start with one project, start with one conversation. Maybe it's a little website, maybe it's an app. You sort of learn what works and you have an influence with people who are more aligned with you, and then you can start building and building momentum and, creating more of a ripple effect in the world. But when I tried to like make the biggest change at the most extreme end of the spectrum, it was, I think, harder. So the final point before we go into the little Q&A is just to not forget that you're in charge. Like we see AI everywhere, right? And it can do amazing things. It can just generate images, it can code, it can do all this stuff, but it's not actually smarter than you, and it can't decide, right, what matters. It doesn't have any convictions. That's what you have. And so I hope that you really put yourself at the center of your own creativity and your own authority and your own journey with technology. And yeah, that was what I wanted to share with you guys. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we can see if anybody has any comments or thoughts they want to share or questions or anything.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. That was a very quick but very insightful session. I can see there's so much engagement in the chat. I agree that everyone really, really enjoyed the session. Yes, thank you so, so much. So right now, if you have any questions related to Charlotte's session, please feel free to ask. So one of the questions we got was, how did you find out about like feminism and then just being a part of this movement? Like what inspired you basically?
Yeah, thank you. I love it. The inspiration was seeing what was wrong around me when I was studying and just starting to feel like, gosh, it's really not fair at all what's happening. And actually, I didn't really know anything much about feminism when I started. The whole feminist internet movement, you know what? It actually started over a cup of coffee in a Pret because I was talking to somebody in the university where I was working and I was telling her, I was like venting, I was telling her all the things I was seeing. And she happened to be part of the widening participation team. at the university, and she funded me to run the first ever feminist internet project for 10 days, and it all started from there. And so it was very organic the way it evolved. And sometimes you can't predict, right, what you're going to end up doing, but it was just following that frustration of like, this is not right, and let me just see how I can start to even just get people together to think about, even is there a way of doing this differently, right? So that's how it all started.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing that. There's another question here that says, how do I figure out what I really care about? And if I'm still exploring my interest and don't have everything figured out yet?
Can you say that again? I think an aeroplane literally went past my window when you said it.
Okay, no worries. It says, how do I figure out what I really care about if I'm still exploring my interests and don't have everything figured out yet?
Oh, I love it. I love that question so much. And to be honest with you, I would say, first of all, don't make it wrong that you are still figuring things out. I think that exploration is so important, and you don't have to narrow yourself down to one thing and then stick with that forever. I'm changing all the time. Technology is changing all the time. My interests are changing all the time. You get to choose and pivot. Your career is going to have so many different chapters and things. So don't stress about like I haven't decided exactly what it's going to be and it's, forever. And I would say like go where your real passion and interest takes you. Like let yourself be interested in what you're interested in. Explore, experiment, have fun, and don't feel like you have to kind of like box yourself in too soon.
Hmm. That sounds really good. Thank you so much for that. Because of time, I'll take one last question. So we're mindful of your time, especially. It says, if people around me don't take these issues seriously, like what I'm passionate about, how do I stay motivated and keep going?
Oh, another great question. I'd say it's that like part about finding your people, because it can be very difficult, whatever area you're working in. It could be tech, it could be anything, but if people are doubting the importance of what you're doing, or they're skeptical, or they're just not interested, sometimes it can be like a bit of a buzzkill, right? You just feel like, oh gosh, why am I the only one that's seeing this? And that's why communities like this are so important. Find the people that do care about it as well and have the conversations with them. And then it takes the pressure off. Like, not everyone in your life has to care about the same things as you, because there are loads of people that care about it. So it's like be involved in communities, get involved in conversations with similar like-minded people, and it will really help you to keep going and stay inspired.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. I'm not sure if you have time for one more question or we just close, but I think a person asked if you've developed any app that is like related to what you do already. There's any app that has been created like related to what you do.
Well, we created an amazing chatbot called Maru with Feminist Internet, and that was all about helping people to explore online harassment and, help to mitigate that whole problem. So we did that. And then, as I mentioned, we did a lot of prototyping with the Web Foundation. That was all about prototyping sort of pieces of social media platforms that would help keep women more safe online. So those were some things we did. But Feminist Internet never created an app for like our own app, but we did work on those projects, which was totally amazing. But I'm not super, super technical, but I love working with people who are. So I'm sure a lot of people in this community are creating amazing things already.
Yes, yes, they are. Yeah, thank you so much, Charlotte. To be honest, I think it's been an insightful session. You've shared so lot. You shared a lot rather. And from the chat and feedback we're receiving, everyone seems like they really got a lot from this. So thank you for your time. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining us for the first day of inspiration. We can open with such an incredible session. So can see the chat, the emojis in the chat. So thank you so much, Charlotte. It's been a great evening having you today.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much, and I wish you a great
Very
evening.
cool.
I know you have to join the meeting now, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes,
Bye, everyone.
bye. Bye. All right, so it was really nice having everyone on the call today. Thank you all for engaging, for dropping your comments. So as a lot of questions are coming in, okay? So we advise that if you have any further questions, feel free to email myself. That is Shemi at Teens in AI or Success at Teens in AI. We drop that multiple times in the chat, so you can email us and we'll respond to any questions that you might have. But please also note that your local ambassadors will be in touch with you. They will provide any information you have. But if you haven't heard from your LA, feel free to reach out to us and we'll connect you with your local ambassadors. That will start from between today and tomorrow, okay? So thank you all for engaging. It was a great session. We'll resume same time tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. UK time. So it's 4:30 p.m. UK time, and the session is just for 30 minutes. So throughout this week, you'll be listening to speakers who would inspire you as you all start your journey. It could be in AI or different fields. But the whole point of this week is to keep you inspired as you all begin your design sprint next month, okay? So thank you all for joining this evening. We look forward to having you all tomorrow.